Okay, this is Jenny's first year Latin, chapter 13. We're going to learn two major things. We're going to learn formation of adverbs and perfect tense. The formation of adverbs will be first, and I have the board here. Formation of adverbs is pretty easy, I think. So, okay. I have trouble censoring this. You take the US off of the masculine to get the base, and you add the E. E.g. is exempli gratia, which stands for example. Um, so, for example, altus, you get alt, and you add the E, and you get olte. Latus becomes latte, alte, libre, longe. And they're usually widely, freely, etc. The exception that we're going to learn today is bonus when its adverb is bene, and that's the exception you learn today. To look at it more, you go to page 60, and it'll have alte is high, deeply, on high or deeply. Latte is widely. Libre is freely. I'll leave that up a little bit more so you can write it down. Longe is far off. Pulchre is beautifully. And misere is wretchedly. So that's the formation of adverbs. Okay, the next thing is perfect tense. And you take that from the third principal part, which we just learned in chapter 12. So we're adding on to that. Remember, I'll write it up on top. The third principal part ends in VI. And we're going to learn perfect endings are not the same. And I'm going to write that up as well. And we have to learn that. So this video is going to be a little bit longer than the other ones. You've had shorter videos lately. This one is going to be a little bit longer because this is going to take some time. We're going to have to take a little bit more time on chapter 13. You may have some questions about it. So let me write down the endings. Some of them are the same. It's the second persons that are going to be different. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and write it all down. This is also on page 60. If you want to go ahead and have your book out, you can look at it as well. I'm writing it down. You're probably going to need to write it in your notebook because I want you to write it in your notebook and remember that is a grade, a test grade. So, sorry, I need to erase that. Rewrite. This is why I need two boards before I start a video. Okay. Okay. The VI reminds you what the third principal part. Remember Amawi. It goes Amo, Amari, Amawi. You take the third principal part. And the perfect endings are different than the ones we've learned. Remember the ones we've learned were O, S, T, M-U-S, T-I-S, and T. Perfect endings are different, and you're going to have to memorize them. First person singular is I. Second person singular is I-S-T-I. Third person singular is IT. Third person First person plural is I-M-U-S. Second person plural is I-S-T-I-S. Third person plural is E-R-U-N-T or E-R-E. And E-G again, remember, means for example. And so you take the third principal part, which is wokawi, which is the first person singular. So you can just write it down. You just write down wokawi. That from Amo, Amari, Amawi, Woko, Wokari, Wokawi. Just write down the third principal part. That is the first person singular. And then you write it down for the other ones with their endings. Wokawisti, Wokawit, Wokawimis, Wokawistis, Wokawewant. And they are all translated with have or has. So, wokawi, I have called. Wokawisti, you have called. Wokawit, she, he, or it has called. Wokawimus, we have called. Wokawistis, you plural have called. Wokawewant, they have called. Now notice third person plural can also be E-R-E. You won't see that very much. Make sure you at least know the E-R-U-N-T. But in some translations, some of the Roman authors, especially the later Roman authors that you have read about in our culture moment, they will use E-R-E. So you should be somewhat familiar with it. But in our readings now, you'll see the one most common, E-R-U-N-T. So write down those endings, learn them. I, I-S-T-I, I-T, I-M-U-S, I-S-T-I-S, E-R-U-N-T. Write down the example and make sure you know. And write down that it's translated with have or has. Okay. I'm going to erase that. And see, they also want you to know that it's something that it's been completed at the time of speaking. Imperfect is continuous past, and perfect is completed past. That is the difference, and you need to know the difference between the two. Okay, let's look at our vocabulary. Now, if you have a question on perfect, I want you to call me or text me, because I know this is new material and it's a little bit more difficult than what we've already done. Okay, let's go over the vocabulary. Animus, animi, mind, spirit. Arma, amorum, arms. This is always plural. Okay, notice that's always plural. Auxilium, auxilii, neuter, help, aid. And notice when it's plural, auxilia, it means auxiliary troops. Captivus, captivi, masculine captive. Notice the meaning is also the derivative. Castra, castrorum, neuter, camp. Concilium, concili, not plan, neuter, plan, advice. Counsel is a derivative. Copia, copiae, feminine, plenty, supply. Copiae, copiarum, feminine, forces, troops. Fama, famae, feminine, reports, rumor. Fuga, fugae, flight. On fama, famae, fame is a derivative. Impedimentum, impedimenti, hindrance. Impedimenta, impedimentorum, neuter, baggage. Yeah, if you're carrying baggage through the airport, it is a hindrance. And yes, impediment is a derivative. Numerus, numeri, number, group. Yes, number is a derivative. Pluralium, plurali, neuter, battle. Signum, signi, sign, signal, both derivatives. Military standard. Talon, Tali, neuter, weapon. Okay, and then in the word study, it says the plural of auxilium means help, aids, or sources of aids in ordinary Latin, but as a technical military term, it refers to all the non-legionary soldiery in an army. Light armed infantry, not heavy armed infantry. Copii um, keeps its normal meaning in the plural, but in military terminology, a general's resources are the forces at his disposal. So you're learning military terms in this chapter, and that's pretty cool. Arma are defensive arms as opposed to tela, which are offensive weapons. And arma are used for post fighting, and tela are used for missiles. So the story today that you're going to be reading is about a Gallic attack. So read the story about the Gallic attack. I think you'll enjoy it. We'll also be talking about the Gallic Wars pretty soon that Caesar fought. And I think we can tie that into history when we do the story. And I think you'll enjoy that when we talk about Caesar and the Gallic War. So tomorrow when we read the story, I'll tell you a little bit about the Gallic War that Caesar fought. Okay, Wale.